If you've ever had a bag of cheesy chips or eaten a pack of sugar ovals, you probably already know all too well what happens to your hands and tongue after a late night snack session. Now, a cursory look at the back of the packaging usually contains a long list of stuff that sounds like naughty words in an alien language. But there are a few things that you probably already know about junk food that you eat. You'd probably be right in thinking that it has some sort of sugar or salt. It obviously contains some sort of seasoning or flavoring, and probably some artificial coloring. These are three things that humans seem to love. Now, the first two may seem pretty obvious. We're all suckers for certain sugary or salty foods, but the last one really is a product of our natural tendency to eat with our eyes. It's the reason why a burger in a Mickey D's commercial looks very different from the burger you get at the drive-thru. Though that's also because Craig doesn't have time for you today. Yeah, sir, you're the one who's the number 6, right? The one with the pickles on the left side, diet mayo, and the bacon on top of the burger? Yeah, that's mine. So I can get no ice cream, but that ice cream machine don't look broke to me. I'm just saying. Cool. You eat with your eyes first. That's why companies go through so much trouble to make sure your food looks good. It's part of the reason why at a fancy restaurant you pay more for what is usually less food. But that's because it looks good. That's part of the experience. Imagine going to a birthday party and there was no coloring on a birthday cake. The bright colors signal to your brain there's fun to be had. Just like the bright balloons and bright streamers. But just like how you find color in everything at a birthday party, unnatural colors also exist in the food you least expect it in. What it do, I'm Lumi and welcome to the Benchtop. Now you're probably used to the artificial colors and stuff like candy and desserts, but the reality is there are a lot more lies told to you by the color of your food than you probably ever even realized. From adults to toddlers, everyone loves a grilled cheese sandwich, except those who are lactose intolerant, vegan, or have gluten allergies. I'm sorry. But anyways, the star of the grilled cheese sandwich is the ooey gooey stuff in the middle, usually cheddar cheese. Now, whether you buy government cheese or decide to spend a little bit extra on a mid-tier cheese, you might be shocked to find out that cheddar cheese is actually a lie. And no, not the fact that it's not real cheese in many cases, but actually a cheese product. That's a topic for another video. But it's the fact that most cheddar cheese sold in the US isn't naturally yellow or orange. This actually all started as far back as the 1800s. Back then, some cows fed in pastures rich in carotene. Carotene is the same compound that makes carrots orange and can lead to carotenemia, which I actually had as a kid. Because of this relatively high level of carotene, the milk of these cows will have a slight yellow appearance. That will be passed on to the cheese that was made from this milk. But when farms switched to using dry feed for their cattle, the color went away. However, people were used to this yellow color and believed it to be of high quality. As a result, the color was added back in, and in many cases, marketing led to the belief that the more intense color was because that cheese was better. Just like the artificial colors used in candy to attract children, the intense orange color was more attractive and signals a richer flavor to your brain, while the pale white slices look more bland. The reality here though is that both cheeses taste the same because what they use to color the cheese is actually a flavorless compound called annatto. This is annatto, well, its chemical structure at least. Annatto comes from the seeds of the achiote tree and is used to give the yellow-orange color to a lot of things like cheeses and chips to cakes and sausage. 9 times out of 10, I guarantee the cheese in your fridge probably lists annatto as an ingredient. I know I was surprised mine did. Now, annatto is natural, doesn't affect the flavor of the cheese, and it's usually pretty innocuous, except for a very small percentage of people who are actually allergic to it. As a result, companies have been adding this to cheese and other cheese products for years to give it that more vibrant orange color. In today's world where people have become ever more distant from their food sources, we've become used to this color and it's stuck around. But the reality is white cheddar should just be called cheddar because most cheddar is white until it's dyed. Another chemical used to help your food lie to you is carbon monoxide. Yes, that carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is an odorless, colorless gas that can be poisonous at high enough concentrations. It's produced when you fire up the grill during those summer barbecues or from the vehicle when you drive to the grocery store. Its colorless, odorless, and poisonous nature is also the reason why many housing organizations recommend that you get a carbon monoxide alarm for your house. By the way, if you don't have one of those, you should really look into getting one of them. The funny thing is that it's also used to help meat in the grocery store stay red. The red meat like steaks that you may be used to buying actually aren't the vibrant red color that you may be used to. You may think that red color in meat comes from the blood that's still in the meat, but you'd be wrong. Though there may be some blood left over, the red color actually comes from the protein called myoglobin. Myoglobin is located in your muscles and is responsible for helping oxygen diffuse through your muscle cells. Myoglobin is normally purplish in color, but it's bright red when bonded to oxygen, and in this state it's actually called oxymyoglobin. When the blood which contains the oxygen is removed and that meat is exposed to air or sunlight, the myoglobin loses the available oxygen and turns a gray color. This is where the oxymyoglobin is turned to metmyoglobin, which is responsible for that gray color you sometimes see when you take the meat home. This doesn't mean the meat is spoiled or bad. Your nose is far better at telling you that than your eyes are. But since it's hard for you to smell the meat through the packaging, we rely on our eyes to help us with this purchasing decision. That's where carbon monoxide comes to save the day, at least for the US meat industry it does. Carbon monoxide reacts with the myoglobin to form the third pigment carboxymyoglobin, which is a bright red color. This has led to the use of carbon monoxide in the US meat industry for years to help meat look more appealing and continue to get you to buy it. Now this has come under fire from different health groups for its potentially toxic effects, and carbon monoxide is banned from use in meat in the European Union. Now I'm not saying that carbon monoxide used in meat is going to kill you. It probably won't, since the concentrations are pretty low. However, the issue is more that the misrepresentation of the quality of the meat could result in spoiled meat being sold to unsuspecting customers. Its use is pretty much meh at best and dubious at worst. At the same time, there may be plenty of fine meat that would be wasted because people are now brainwashed to only buy the red stuff. That's why you often see paler looking stuff on sale. Now I don't want this video to get too long in the tooth, but there are so many other things that you eat that are really not how they appear. Like how some oranges actually are that orange because they use a compound called citrus red number 2 to make them appear orange all year round. Or how yellow number 5, also known as tartrazine, helps pickles keep their yellowish color. Though there should be a distinction when considering natural and artificial colorings, the reality is the color they give is always artificial, and both have been shown to cause allergic reactions in some people, while also anecdotally been associated with things like hyperactivity in kids. The truth is, many foods are colored in some way to help influence your purchasing habits and decisions, and that's why I say food is a lie. I'm Lumi, and thanks for joining me at the Benchtop. If you made it this far, why not drop a like on the video, as it lets YouTube know this video was useful. And subscribe while you're down there so you don't miss my new videos I have coming soon, talking about the myth of the detox and the science behind Wonder Woman's lasso of truth. You definitely don't want to miss those. Anyways, I'm Lumi, and I aim to make science real to you. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep thinking.